So we are starting another day on a very good note. Remember that today is International Peace Day, right? And we just finished the conference. So we have been struggling in this class, and we have been investigating the concept called peace. Now, remember the first thing we started with. Do you remember where we started with? We started by trying to ask about peace, right? That was the first class, or the concept of peace. Then after that, so you can switch off if someone is feeling cold. Please, can you switch off the air? So after we must have uh, examined the concept of peace, another topic we talked about is ethical dimension. So we try to just switch it off because somebody is not feeling okay. So we try to talk about ethics, because how can you even define peace when we don't have a common ground on ethical principles? So of course you could tell how we handled it last week, as most of you were fighting, but not physical fighting, but academic fighting, intellectual stimulating argument. So today again, do you know the topic I'm into today? Introduction to Personality Development. Okay, this is where the entire concept will be enveloped and will be diagnosed, if I may use the medical term. How can you be talking about peace when someone has a personality issue? Where will you situate peace? When you are, I remember Emmanuel Obi in his question today, he's saying that the woman centered on the position of peace and the concept of it as intra. Okay, now, Emmanuel, if I understood second part of his question then, or first part of question, I can't remember which one. I got from him, what if the person is at peace? How about the third person, the second person? So now, because the issue here is that imagine that already I have a psychological problem and you wanted to assist me peacefully, because you have your intra uh, peace concept within you. You are at peace with yourself, but you now run into someone you wanted to assist, someone that has psychological problem. How would you handle it? You are assisting someone, but imagine the person has already had a kind of sexual harassment in his life or her life. Don't you think that with any assistance you're giving, the person is thinking going back to the experience because an experience has not left him or her? Imagine you're a teacher talking to someone, and you are very tall as a teacher, but this particular person has got experience of a teacher that was tall in his primary school, flogged him, beat him. He had a very negative experience of this taller teacher, but you are tall too. Innocently, you are teaching this particular person, but in his or her mind, he's thinking about the teacher he met in primary school, and he's very tall. He's like you. How would you think that the person will accept you or accept your teaching rubric? Okay, again, imagine that you just got married. You got married to someone that had so many problems right from family. Is a woman, but she had experienced the parent fighting all the time, beating, all those kind of family problems. And then you marry this particular girl. What happens? Even if you're a peaceful person, even if you're a different husband, if you're going to be a different husband more than her dad. Do you consider that scenario? How about the scenario of somebody who has been duped? who has been manipulated, who may have lost money, or somebody who may have, for example, paid his school fees, but his school fees is not paid. He has gotten the experience before, and he has seen he's now in another environment situation where he has to pay school fees, and he was not given a receipt. How would you now, even when you're trying to that the situation the person is experiencing is different, his or her is different situation, is different scenario. How would you handle that? That is how we'll start the class today. And I need your input. Personality development. What's the relationship between personality development and peace we are talking about? Come on. What makes you think that because you're a peaceful person, then the person you are meeting will be very peaceful without going back to his or her past experience? That is the question, and that is the reflection. And I need to start from you before we get to the PowerPoint. PowerPoint is just an academic exercise, but I would like to hear from you. Peace and personality development. Because when you connect it, then you can understand the governance too. Peace and governance is the subject. So now, how can you connect this thing with personality development? The concept of peace with personality development. Go on, it's on.
Okay, in my opinion, the way I see it, personality development has to do with someone's mental stability, first and foremost. Because when you talk about people's personalities, people have different personalities, and the way you interact with different personalities can also be different. For example, there's a way you interact with somebody who has a mental issue or a mental health issue versus somebody who's normal and doesn't have a mental health issue. So to me, to relate peace and personality development is you first have to understand your own personality first and to see if you understand it and they're peaceful with it before you can have a dialogue or a conversation with somebody else about peace. Because in the same way that if you're not at peace with yourself and you don't understand your own personality, then the same way you might not understand where they are coming from. That's what I think.
Now, hold it. That's what I'm saying. If you have understood your personality very well and you're a peaceful person, as we heard the presenter this morning, the problem is not coming from you. How have you protected yourself from the other?
Well, I would say, number one, put yourself in a situation to be empathetic. In the sense, not just sympathetic, but to be empathetic, to put yourself in their shoes, first and foremost.
It's very easy to say in the class.
Yes, it's very easy. It's more easier said than done. But I think the most common answer would be don't engage. If you're not engaging, then you're avoiding conflict, then therefore you're maintaining peace. But if you're to engage in a scenario or a situation whereby you're trying to understand them because they're the ones who are not at peace.
Okay. I wouldn't be, anybody can answer, but I am not in, I'm just worried at a situation where I have to allow Mike to always approve whatever I do before I do them, or allow some to always approve whatever I do, my personality, before I go on with my person. Come on. I guess that is part of the problem. If you ask me, Africans are very poor. And the generality of African nations are not coming up. This is me, you can disagree with that. Because we have the tendency to live your life and force me to live your life. I mean, just think about it. Don't rush into it. Then sometimes you tend to notice that most people who actually got themselves either out of poverty or whatever may have decided to live their own life. Because that is where your gift is embedded. That is where your talent could be seen. But the danger is when I tend to see most people who live for another person to be the people who may be snatching their teeth, as the hellfire said. And if you think about globally, you also notice that most countries that are very rich and developed countries, I don't think they have the same capacity, whether mental or whether whichever way you argue. The individuals living in that country, I don't think it's the same level of worldview about life. So the question is, I want peace, and I'm so peaceful with myself. And you, Chelsea, would like me to live your kind of life so that you now define me to be peaceful and not the kind of, not me as me. When I mean me as me, not going to break the law of society, no, but in terms of personality.
To that, because you related it to the African issue, I would say, in my context or in my view, I think that in the African way or in the African culture, it's more of a community than self.
Mhm.
And because of that, it goes deeper than people think it does. It goes deeper than sharing food in the community. It's our ideals, our morals are viewed as a collective thing. It's that if Mike is doing this and he's the best in that, then everyone in the village should be doing exactly what Mike is doing to be that. That means
But
if
why are we traveling out of Africa? Why can't we stay in Africa and make it the heaven that we should be? Why are we
yeah,
traveling outside?
because for us to have our own individualistic minds and and sense of self, we cannot do it back home. I can't go back home and be this open-minded, charismatic person. You go back home, there's a box you're gonna be put in. You have to do this like this. You have to be like this to get somewhere. While if you go outside the continent, you can be anything you want to be. It doesn't really matter what you believe, what you are for.
Then why, the question is, why can't we stay in Africa comfortably and build it as heaven on earth?
Well, it can't be heaven on earth because let's begin with it was hell on earth. So it cannot go from hell to heaven in a matter of seconds. So it will take a long time. In my view, it will take a long time before the African mindset is changed from
Where was this
community to self.
mindset? Why do we have to change our mindset?
Because our mindset was changed during colonization. Now we need to go back. We need to go back before colonization, and it's we have neo-colonization right now, in the sense that people think we've gone away from it, but we're still in it. It's still the same. Things haven't changed. They have changed the packaging, but it's still the same thing being sold to us. So if Africans decide to go do away with the cultural quote unquote notion and oh, we have to keep culture, we have to keep community, we have to keep family, then if they allow people to be themselves, we might go somewhere. But the problem is if you allow everyone to be themselves, then you get crazy people. Yeah.
So what? Okay.
So, Chelsea, okay. So, what are your inputs so far? Yeah, so far for like, yeah, what are your inputs so far for you to like change that impression that we Africans have? Like, what are your inputs so far?
What I would say, number one, education, in the sense, not just education is the key. No, we need to be educated on wild things.
Which kind of education? Because from kindergarten to university,
Yes.
they're all Western education.
They're all Western education, and it's okay. But people need to be educated on life. There's a difference between education of class and education of life. Back home, I would speak for myself, and before I came here and after I've been here, there was a certain way of thinking that I would think, oh, finish school, get married, have a kid, continue the family, buy a land, build a house. That is a typical
Ladies,
African.
do they buy land and build houses?
No, buy land with the husband or get land. You know what I mean. And yeah. And then you travel outside and you realize there are other things apart from that. Those are important, yes. I'm not denying that. But it should not tie you to your personality. That should not define who you are. So small things like that. I'm not saying people should not have families. You should have families. They're very good. But are you having a family just to define yourself based on your family? Or are you somebody first before you have a family?
But sorry, do you believe that this?
Can you give him mic?
Do you know that? Okay. Do you believe that you will not?
But you are taking it
you will not
personal to
survive.
her.
No, I'm not.
She
taking-
just expressed her.
No, I'm not. We are no. We are discussing. We are just okay. Do you know that you will not survive if you do not follow the way of your, maybe should I say, past leaders, because you are trying to, like, yes, hold on, you are saying that your education, or you are working, like, you are putting effort to change that narrative, to change that impression. But do you know that if you deviate from already establish lay down rule, let me use it, whether right or wrong, that you will not survive? Do you know that? Or do you-
No, I don't know that. However, I don't believe that because what is the purpose of doing something the same way it has always been done and there's no change that has come from it? If we are saying, oh, Africa is this and this and this, people have been there before me, they've done the same thing, the continent is still the same. Nothing has changed.
And do you know, before they give you that position, you will come in terms with them, terms and conditions, like you agree that, okay, this is what I'm going to do, that I'm not going to deviate. Do you know that? And there's no how you just from nowhere come and like want to change the already laid down rule, whether right or wrong. Sure, you know it's not possible.
It's not that it's not possible, it's that people's mindset are rigid to the fact of being a change. And that is what I think. I'm not trying to deviate from tradition and everything that has been laid down before and all the things that have been there. Yeah. Whether wrong or right, yes. I'm not trying to deviate from that. All I'm saying, what is the purpose of doing something the same way over and over and over and expect a different outcome? That is the true definition of insanity.
Yeah, because
Doing the same thing over and over.
to add to what you're saying, even in that our Africa, with all those our African philosophy of life and cosmology,
Yes.
we still envy outsiders, and we want to travel there, and we want to go there, and we want to stay there.
Mhm.
Then, but the way they design their own life, we still claim that their own is not good.
It's not good.
But almost an average person in that African country appears to be looking forward
To go there.
to go there. If you give them visa,
They
they're
go.
very happy. God has done it.
It's a
Hallelujah.
celebration.
God has done it.
Yeah.
What has God done to you, for goodness sake? God has done to you. Are in an African setting with the kind of mindset, with kind of cosmology, with kind of spirituality we are holding. Why not stay there comfortably? And you are still there and looking for some people that are going to hellfire already, according to what we are meant to understand. They are in hellfire already, and yet do you want to go to hellfire?
Clearly, yes, we
And then
do.
you are leaving the African shore, the African vicinity, traveling far away to go somewhere with hope to get a better life. But those people, the way they have designed their life, live their life, is what you are against. I'm not in support of everything anyway, but that is individual. But the point is that does it mean that we don't really know what we want, or we don't want what we know, or something like that? Sometimes I get confused. I don't know the best answer either.
Which is
Because
why,
an average family would like to, for example, in my tribe, my tribe say obodo oyibo, meaning foreign, what do you call it? Yeah, going to the Western world. That is obodo oyibo. We tend to pray in our dialect, that my son will go to Obodo Oyibo.
Yeah.
We tend to pray that in our dialect that my daughter will marry someone from Obodo Oyibo. I mean, this appears to be the hope and the aspiration of almost every parent.
Which
Almost
contradicts,
every parent. But at the same time, we are stuck
on
with
culture
one
and
kind
tradition.
mindset that probably are very timid and rigid in that particular scenario. But I still believe, if you ask me, that we have better life. But it's just that the global incentives are so much that we tend to run away from that our lifestyle because it has been dismantled based on religion, based on the kind of education we got, and so on and so forth. Because I still remember people from Saudi Arabia. They are still holding their uniqueness. Most people from Middle East, no matter the enticing nature of global life, they're still holding what is their own nature, what they have naturally gotten from supernatural or whatever that may have made their country, depending on their belief. Go to Dubai, call it Dubai, right? United Arab Emirates. I mean, I heard that if you get, I've not been there, but even their ladies, you cannot see them anyhow. But still, they still built their country in such a way that you look at it, it looks like heaven, but they're still holding on to certain things that they also there. Why not that in Africa?
Then I think Africans would have to stop being greedy and jealous of the Western side and decide that we are going to make our own quote unquote heaven on earth.
Okay, so I think Dixie has something to say.
No, I got interested in a particular aspect, movement. Yes, the one about movement. I say, why should Africa go out of Africa? Maybe to succeed. Actually, from the beginning, man is a wanderer. Man.
Just like those who made their country better, wanderers too. That is why their country is better than Africa.
Even those that are better today wandered.
That's what I'm saying. That is why that is my point. That is
so coming from even the Western world wandered to Africa and got what they wanted to use to develop their side from the days of the plantation and all.
Even subjected some Africans are black monkey because we are not treated as human beings.
They have to wander to achieve all that. Now, that's for the West. Even China wandered, the great China today. But they wandered and they term it movement for self-strengthening. The idea there in terms of development was that they made it nationalistic. So they sent their own citizens, go to US, go to the already developed world, enroll for jobs, learn whatever you are, whichever aspect you find yourself, pay attention, learn properly, send intelligence back home. Hence, if they see how you just suffer for months to do just one phone, they send it home and say, this is what I learned. Then they develop 1,000 of the same thing. And that was what their own movement gave them. If Africa will get to the point where it's not just an individual thing. However, we still send people on scholarship and they come and it becomes individualistic. But going back to my point, if we send our people, or if Africa goes, learn whatever they have to learn, and have the mindset that they want to go back home, that is if home is safe. I know that's another topic for another day. And bring it back home and then introduce it back home. Then we will start getting our own development.
But
if
why?
we make it nationalistic.
The question is, why is it not like that?
Then there are other factors. This brings us back. You mentioned security at the point. And then we are selfish in Africa. A Western world man, a Westerner right now, will be satisfied he has just one bungalow to himself. Just 2 or 3 bedroom flats.
Why?
And he's okay. One old modern car.
But why?
And then, but an African, the more he gets, the more he wants to get.
But why? That is the main
greed.
issue there. Why?
Greed. African greed.
Why the greed?
Yeah, from beginning we have always had it like we want to keep growing, and the more we grow, the more our eyes are being then dismantling of the psychology you built earlier. Dismantling of the psychology. You can be better. So they think being better would get to a point where, don't forget, we are all humans. And human wants, we have wants. And they say human want is insatiable. Maybe that's embedded in Africa. But if we are meant to know how to break the barriers of selfishness and go more of nationalism and continentalism, pardon me to use that,
How
then
and why?
orientation. We have
Who
just
will
one man.
orient who?
We have one man now that has been like a voice in the wilderness, Patrick Lumumba Jr. He was in Nigeria like yesterday or day before yesterday. The Patrick Lumumba. Yes. He's just been the one voice that will always say, the last question he left now in Nigeria is, all African leaders just left China and they promised us 50 something million in 3 years. Why should we all go? And then he's now talking about Dangote now going to Borno State. By the way, Borno had this effect of flood and donating 100 million or so. So that's how it should be. Africa should start thinking of helping Africa. The biggest, richest man in Africa, are you helping Africa? Are you helping your home? Instead of getting the riches from Africa, from Nigeria, and you're taking it back to them. I know the more I try to answer this, it opens it up.
Yeah. Because I'm getting worried with the those big men.
Yeah.
Why were they big?
Why were they big? Now, all fingers have never been equal.
I'm saying why, not equality.
Yes, that's the thing. So now some people started making money before some people. And then on the shoulders of those that have not met, they keep growing. And then there is still the part of corruption on its own. And then there are levels to this corruption. There are some very, very sanctimonious, corrupt people that even if you, the one voice in the wilderness, point finger, and then you see the very people that the food has been taken out of their mouth to come out in protest and say, leave him for us. It is political. You are witch hunting him. Now that's mentality again. We have to break out of it. I know the question again. How? Orientation, education. Orientation, orientation.
Why these
Mike.
questions are the essence of why I'm asking the why, so that we keep thinking. Not that I personally have the solution, because with my little understanding, it's not making sense to me that an average family would like to be going somewhere. There inside that family could not accept certain aspect of life where they are looking onto, and then they want their kids, they want their children, they want their people to go there. Why? I mean, that is I don't have the
It's
answer.
a fundamental problem, like from the concept of where we come from. First of all, look at where we're coming from. Presently, dollar is $1
That's for
to
today.
1,600
Yeah,
today,
that's for today.
and even more.
But that's not the reason
Now,
why.
the why is if I send my younger one, my brother, my ward abroad, and he works to get just $1, and he's able to send it to Nigeria, it translates to 1,600. While me working in Nigeria gets 100,000, and it only helped me to fill my tank just for one day. $100
And then why the country where he got the money were so organized and so systematic in such a way that if you work, you get paid immediately. Why ours are not like that?
Well, strong system.
Who brought about the system? Where is the system coming from?
They also taught us the
Is
system.
it angels? I mean, I just want to know whether angels came from heaven.
Even before we even blend them, we had our system before they came. Our system sold our own people to them. And then they use our people with their own system to develop themselves. Now we need to develop a renewed system.
Selling the system, selling our own people to them.
Yeah.
Of course, they also sold their people to some other people as well.
Yes.
I will, whoever is selling who. After all, nowadays we have a way of getting some money.
Yeah.
They took from us. There's always a way to justify certain things. But
Yeah.
the point is that how come that this particular other system is in this way, why this particular one is in chambo and keep being in chambo,
Strong system.
even in the mindset of some of us sitting here, still being in chambo till today, because as we talk, I wouldn't like to be blaming the past all the time.
Yeah.
But currently, as we are in this particular class here, how have we protected our own believed system individually, believed standard individually? Here, right here. Before we even talk, because it's just like those people, because since they are smarter than us. Will I use the word smarter than us? Maybe they demonstrate to be smarter than us. Otherwise, how come we are running away from a system that we treasure, we think is the best, and almost all of us are waiting for heaven and hellfire? And then almost all of us remember that some of us are from the background, that our fathers and mothers will go to the church and be praying for goodies, and then praying for God to train their children while they are fucking every day and getting more children. And then Chukwu Nazu, God is the one training. Can you imagine that? Then when the God finished training and you finish producing nuisance, and you finish producing people who are quarreling and fighting themselves, and they got married, their wives are now fighting themselves, and then even some of our parents died out of heart attack because of the kind of children, the behavior of the children. And then one of them happens to leave that place to go to that particular place. We are saying and not following up. And then we'll be clapping hard and hoping for better. That is the question. We may not even exhaust the question, the answer here, but just let's be reflecting over it. So who next?
So we are talking about introduction to personality development, and in regard to the questions you've asked. For me, personally, I would say Africans, in regards to the question you asked, I would say Africans should actually, we tend to look outward most of the time, and that we forget who we are as a people. Like we don't even look inwards of like who we are. Most Africans, most of us, our kind of education, the kind of education we get tends to
Hold it before I just because what you are just saying is reminding me of something. Remember that we now have Facebook.
yeah.
Some people brought Facebook to us. Now that Facebook is now being used by us here to either to bring down your fellow age mate or fellow family member or whatever. If there are any slightest thing, they post on the Facebook. Remember that we have WhatsApp now. Almost all the known WhatsApp groups I know of is just there to attack the other person, to expose the other person, to show the world how the entire member of that WhatsApp forum, how bad, how dangerous this person is. Once the person gets, and especially the audio, the person start talking whatever he feels he can talk without even thinking about the laws, regulations, and how come all these things came up. So because it's not only about the past. Even what is being given to us today, things that are better for us today, how are we even using it to develop or even to make better our society or even to create an enabling environment that is conducive for peaceful environment in that our setting? This comment reminded me about that because I just want to bring it up as you keep sharing your own ideas. You see, so it's not a question of even the past. It's not a question of our forefathers. Even here and now, most of the things given to us, sometimes tend to think, is there any Is there anything that was removed in our DNA that sometimes we lack? We tend to show as if we lack thinking properly. Because almost everything is being used, misused, misappropriated. Okay, continue because what you say just reminded me about that.
Okay, continuing from my thought, what I'm saying is that as a people, we should reinvent ourselves as a people, and even the kind of education we get.
How can we? Because even you now, if you reinvent, they will go after you. If you give them a suggestion, they will go after you. If you want to say, no, do this, follow it this way, they will now begin to even dig into your left and right and begin to tell, look at this idiot, look at this. We don't even know how to talk respectfully. How?
Yeah,
How can we reinvent?
The thing is, we
By the way, all of
as a
you should know
people,
that why I'm asking all this because we are in the classroom.
yeah,
There's no difference. Otherwise, why wasting time to come here every evening? The classroom should be an avenue for us to actually examine, investigate, and think deeply, critically into things we hold so dear. Of course, my field is mostly on philosophy because we believe in probing questions, getting to know why, fundamental questions that will provide fundamental answers. Might not even answer the question, but it will give you the opportunity to think. So we are talking about peace. How can you talk about peace when somebody's personality is demented? When you are dealing with a person, so when somebody's upbringing, past experience may be affecting him, even when you are showing peace, even when you are peaceful with the person might not receiving it in that way because he has gotten some underlying kind of a past experience that may have been affecting his personality. Okay, continue.
okay. So, re-examining the kind of education we received so far, and for example, there's something I noticed today from the lecture we had, from the questions that were being asked, the examples that were given. People referenced Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and Palestine, which is all good because those are the things, these are real situations. However, some of the questions actually came from African students. They didn't even reference what is going on at home. Congo is a typical example. Like that is what I'm trying to say. That we should know ourselves, know our continent, because most times we don't even know anything that is happening
Okay,
in
where
our
do we
continent.
start from that knowing? Yeah, you have a very wonderful suggestions here and submission, but where do we start is my worry because all of us here are master's degree students and we're behaving in this way, including myself. We're behaving in this way. If people who are presumed to have finished primary school, secondary school, university, they're now in master's degree, and we are just we left nothing to be desired. Just tell me what is our hope and future in your submission.
What is our hope and future? Just like I think for me personally, I the my education, the education that I got is Western education, which is good. You understand? But there are loopholes for me. Yeah, there are certain things that there are certain ideas that there are certain directions or thought patterns that I was conditioned to think, like to think in a certain way. Yeah, I'm not conditioned to think in an Afrocentral point of view. Yeah, I'm conditioned. My education is which I'm questioning personally. I'm really questioning it, and I'm trying in my own way to reimagine to get a kind of education that is more reflective. Like I'm reflecting inwardly than seeing outside of myself. You understand? Like seeing outside of myself.
How can you remember that my YouTube is the Igbo research methodology designed for Igbo, using Igbo to speak? But do you know that most of my customers are not Igbos?
Yeah,
But the
that is
intention,
possible.
is to whatever we learn in the Western terminology to bring it down to the Igbo word, Igbo words, but then using my dialect, of course. But how come too?
So,
That the customers, majority of them are non-Igbos.
yeah, that is possible because it's the internet, and there are lots of people, like a lot of cultures, a lot of people on the internet. So it is possible that people that are viewing your video might not be from that target group you have in mind.
But then I'm also watching Facebook, and I see a lot of people crying using Igbo, for example, crying for people to learn this, for people to do this. Is it also the people are watching them too? Because they have many people from Igbo tribe looking at them, but the most people that actually patronize them sometimes are not also from the same place.
No, it's the same thing you're saying. What I'm saying,
I remember Chimamanda. You know Chimamanda, right?
very well.
There's a news, BBC news, I don't know. And he was talking about Igbo as a tribe, and then he was asked, why not write books in Igbo? Do you remember her answer?
Yeah.
What was her answer?
She said that most people won't read it. Like
That
she
Igbo
won't,
people will not
read it. Yeah.
When I read it, when I saw that, ever before I started, I thought she was joking. Say most Igbo people will not. So when you get back to reinventing, you're talking about Africa general, of course, but then we are now becoming particular. How can you reinvent in this kind of scenario? Because the best reinventing you can hear in Igbo land is go to church, and then Holy Ghost be healed, fasting and prayer, so that you are now reinventing.
Yeah.
Unless if you're not seeing it, but the one of the reinventing or reinvention, how do you call it? The only reinventing acumen that may work in this kind of scenario from their tribe, mostly nowadays, is the reinventing of something that will give people hope that they'll go to heaven. Because we have been told from primary, secondary, kindergarten, primary, secondary, that heaven is for us and not here on earth.
So I don't really reinventing doesn't really limit. Shouldn't have limitation to just religion, culture.
How can, because
I
the
think
point is, how can you
the
reinvent?
world.
If the brain of the person reinventing is already conditioned, he reinventing or bringing people as a chosen to go to heaven, how can you reinvent? Because the concept of reinventing in Africa is all about preparing someone to go to heaven. That is the impression. That is the majority of what reinventing mean. Otherwise, you see the keys in Japan, they were being launched into a computer. You see the keys in China and almost all European. They are being invited into being relevant to the modern world. But the keys in where you are talking about reinventing are in the block closer, and then other religious institutions. So how can you reinvent it? Because that's what I just want you to tell how.
That is the point I'm trying to make. It shouldn't be culturally or religious.
Then what are you talking
alone.
about? Because you cannot. There's no country you can forget, because that is where you catch the kids when they are young. Well, especially in Africa, community people, as Chelsea said, were community-oriented people.
Yeah.
And then community people could go to brokers, are not going to brokers. Sometimes the mother will like the other one to let them go together as people going together. People go to church, and sometimes just for us to go together and come back together. That is the living on our communitarian dimension. I am because we are. That is the assumption. I am because we are. So when you use the word reinventing, at what stage, at what time? Because in a Western world, even here in Thailand, if you are teaching in kindergarten, you are paid higher. Here in Thailand, if you are teaching kids, you are paid higher than primary school. You are paid higher than secondary school. This is applicable all over the world. In Germany, some of the European countries, children are not actually for parents. They borrow. My understanding is that just like something you borrow, you learn to be taken care of. Children are just given to the parents to take care of, but why the government are the owner of the children. That's the way I see it. Otherwise, you are a child of 5 years will make a call, and they will tell the child how to call when the mom is disturbing. of when the dad is disturbing. You see, it's just like, how do you say, is it lending? They are lending children for you. Yes. Yeah. And then if the parents appear not to be in line with what they want, they take the children and put them to foster home. They call it foster home, right? Foster care. When he has parents. You see, because they started from, they take them when they are young. So in our system, how can you remove, because apart from education, which is the Western standard, then the only other way you can ever see anything to reinvent is either religion or where people are gathering in our own concept. So how can, your points are wonderful, but how to reinvent? So that will not end up making it an academic exercise. Otherwise, an academic exercise is a classroom exercise. How? And this how, I believe that by the time you finish this program, you make it as a thesis, you make it as your independent study. How can we do this in reinventing?
Yes, sir. So it's not something I can answer right now in class.
Of course, I don't expect that, as I said, I'm not expecting. The problem is that when we try to answer it, even myself, I made it very clear. I don't have the answer. But you are making a very nice submission that cannot be watered down. But my issue is how? Because you made that reinventing is the best solution. But how? How? Go home and then say that thing now. They will just throw stone on you. Because sometimes I tend to think that these people are just so smart. They came and dismantled they dismantled everything that would have held us like this, and things have fallen apart.
Sir, I wouldn't give up on the hope.
Something has something to say.
Yeah, I'm just going to the how you have been asking. I would say from my own view and from what I know that is controlling the society at the moment, I would say that his idea of reinventing how things are done or how I feel like aside religion and education, another tool that is very powerful for this generation is social media, which you have adopted something currently that is very commendable. I believe that millions of people follow up here. If we have more people who are exposed, who understand who we are, who understand where we're coming from, who understand the struggles we have, and then they share their stories more, knowing fully well, with the target being those people who are still young. These people sleep on social media literally. So if we have more people, for instance, as you are right now, passing messages that matters, nurturing them, changing their mindset, giving practical examples, bringing guests with similar experience and goals, and then we see more of these things on social media and other platforms. I feel like it could contribute in reinventing the way.
Why do you think that we don't have more people?
We do have, but not as much as the nuisance we have on social media. One,
But why do you think we don't have much?
because not everybody wants to be. We don't have that mindset. I wouldn't say we. Some people don't have that mindset to transfer knowledge to others. It's just between themselves, and they keep growing.
Why do you think they don't do that?
I would cite it to Africa right now. We also have that mentality of hiding a lot because of what people would say or what will happen to us.
I mean, that is why I normally ask why. Because even if you want to come out, you have to get ready, get loaded, get loaded. Because the next thing, the person will now begin to, those who wouldn't like your progress, they tend to think that now you are coming out, you are shining more than, because these people, in my own view, implanted in us a competitive nature that can never leave our brain. We keep competing. Even when let's say, for example, I say, watch my YouTube. Somebody may not watch it because if you watch it, I will make not because he or she doesn't have the data, but why should I do that? Why should I do that to give this man this kind of a thing? which is not the kind of brain the other those people, because our own is psychological issue. That is where we are talking. That is the personality development we are talking. It's psychological issue. We tend to, majority of us have been dismantled for life. That sometimes, and it's coming from Mama Emeka, Mama Ibuka, the way they were quarreling, and that has been transferred to the children. The same thing, because we're just talking, go to different villages, you see, go to different families, you see that they can't even sit together. They can't even eat together. They can't even do anything together. That is why I always say, how? Even here we are talking about, even in this classroom, the how is the issue, because we are master's level, but how? And many people also don't have that personality to sieve out your weaknesses and your strength. What do I mean by this? I am coming out online not because I'm Jesus Christ. I'm coming out online because I have the capacity, I have the ability to handle that particular issue. I am not coming out online because I'm Jesus Christ. I used to tell some people, I am coming out online because this particular area of my strength, I want to share it. But it's not everybody who will have that kind of knowledge or have that kind of power. Somebody who may have had issues, sexual issue, may say, hey, this person, he will want to do this to me. And say, somebody who may have a biological issue may be so scared. Somebody who may have marriage issue may not feel comfortable. Somebody who may have been sacked from work where he's working may say, oh, my workplace will come now and begin to look after me and say, look at this man that was sacked. So many weaknesses here and there. So the issue is not, that's why we talk about personality development. That's why we are situating it with peace. Because the issue is beyond what we are thinking. If you want to, in my own view, to be successful, you must have a strong personality. And that strong personality means that you know your weakness and you know your strength. And I'm telling you, if you see me on YouTube, I'm bringing in my strength. Not that my weakness that you think of. But not everybody, probably not everybody will see it and separate it. That I'm coming there doesn't mean that I am coming there as someone who is not weak. No, don't ever equate me with Jesus Christ because I'm not interested. I don't want to be crucified on the cross, even though he is perfect. Jamal, what are you laughing at? Even though Jesus Christ is the God, they said, and then is a man that has never committed any offense, and he was crucified. So I'm not equating. Don't ever try it. Face me with my weaknesses. Face me with my problems. But after facing me with my weaknesses, when we finish that weakness, don't ever imagine that I will be living on there, because I have to rise up and then concentrate on my strength. Because the problem is that some people, that is why, and you rightly mentioned, most people, because of weaknesses, because of failures, because of struggles about life, they don't tend to come out. Not because they don't have what it takes. But do you know what it means to come out and be talking as if you have the authority? Come on. I have that authority at that particular time I'm talking. If you don't like it, there's a transformer somewhere. So I don't know if you are getting you got the point. Yeah. So I actually got your point. You hit it at where it should be, this suggestive nature. Okay. Any other contribution at personality development and peace? Yeah, Obi. I hope you will not take 1 hour. I know sometimes he would think he was sleeping, and then eventually, I don't know what he was thinking, and then the spirit that gives him information will not tell him fire back. Okay, now, Smith.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful topic. Africa problems are too many. And the reason why you are asking why, you are asking why and how. Firstly, Africa, we are not organized, number one. And we have not identified ourselves, number two. And number three, we are so concerned about trap than the nation. Okay? Okay, so the reason I'm saying all these things is that when I see you, I don't see you to be a Nigerian. I see you to be an African. When I see Chelsea, I don't see Chelsea to be Kenyan. I see Chelsea to be an African. That's one of our mentality. If we have that, Africa will little bit rise up. Then another point I want to talk about being so concerned about tribe. Like I'm a Yoruba, I'm a Igbo, I'm a this and that. Is also destroying Africa.
Why? Why do we have to think like that? Do you know why?
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 Yeah, because we are concerned about
Why are we concerned about tribe?
to hold certain.
Because the same thing is happening in India. The same thing is happening in Pakistan. The same thing is happening in Bangladesh. The same thing is happening almost everywhere the British government may have colonized people. So why?
Yeah, because we don't have one goal.
Why? Why don't we have one goal?
We don't have one voice.
Why don't we have one voice?
Because we have so many things that we are occupied with. We take it to be so personal, you know. So it's also destroying Africa.
Yeah, actually, you have some points there. Just that we must all be reflecting over all these things. Sometimes I don't know if we have a solution. If you ever try to be the solution, if you have the strength, okay, that is if you are alive. Yeah, if you come alive, because I will talk with my experience, here in Sayam University, talk with my experience in my dealing and my administrative work. If you are alive, because you must be alive, because if care is not taken, almost, if you have met in the scale of 10, if you have met 10 Africans, only 9 might even remember the good side of you. I mean, what am I saying? 9 out of 10 might only be thinking about the bad side of you, calculating the negative aspect. You may be lucky to have 1 who might remember. And the same is applicable, in my own experience, applicable to most of the time. That's why most Africans may not experience good leaders, because good leaders may not even be allowed by you and I because of our mind construct. So I'm talking as someone who has a lot, enough experience when you are handling an issue from this same particular people we are talking about. Their mindset, their mind construct, the attitude, the personality, the individuation, and the individuality, the personhood of the person. Then you find out why. That's why I'm asking why. And when Mike made mention of reinventing, that's why I'm also, where do we start? Because the problem I may be experiencing is not from Thailand. If you are from parents that may have trained you to behave in certain ways, I'm afraid you may not change it unless you do personality surgery on your own. Unless experience must have taught you, then you now begin to see differently. Because this is about a childhood kind of a thing. Is it psychological dimension of human relation? So most psychologists will say that between the first year to 7 years of a child, he has already gotten everything he or she would like to stand on in life. Every other thing after first year to 7 years, you are wasting time because the child must have been built. Yes. So if the child is a nation, then think about your country as a nation built within 7 years. Needless to think about, if you talk about Nigeria, how many years are we now after being independent? Okay, then if you think about human being, then the human being, you and I, certain things I'm doing today, believe it or not, is what I got from my mom. I have tried to see where if there will be any difference at all. I can't situate it. It's coming from my parents. Certain ways I act now is coming from my parents, coming from the people that gave birth to me. So now the question is, how can you, if you are coming from that kind of a scenario, negative word, negative vibe, negative situation, and you are a very peaceful person, relating with someone from psychologically destroyed mindset. How can? Let's say you are relating with somebody who came from a war zone. Whatever you are saying, the person may likely be thinking that you are about to shoot. He will still be thinking about that which he came from. So the issue is that how? And that is why I have a class, Human Capital Management. My class will start by 9 a.m. That is Wednesday. Okay, every Wednesday. My class starts at 9 a.m. I have about 9 German students, and the rest are Nigerian students. 5 Nigerian students and 1 Ugandan student. The class starts at 9 a.m. Do you know when German students attend this class? Who can guess? Huh? Who can guess? 8:30, they're already in the class waiting for me, well dressed. German students, 9 of them. They were already in the class waiting. The class should start by 9, but by 9, 8:30, 8:40, they were already seated. Then here come African students. Do you know when they come? My African students will come in by 9:40 or 9:30 or 9:40. And the person will, whenever the person arrives, he will be telling you stories why he was late. Can you see what background, the elements you can witness, you can see when it has to do with background? So whatever, if you are in Thailand today and you are from Africa or you are from Indonesia or you are from Afghanistan, everything is about background. The way you view the university, you view everybody here is background. So that is why once the background is distorted, sorry. And anybody, interestingly, whenever they come, most African students come late. Whenever they come late, they have reasons. Flimsy reasons here and there. And they will think that reasons are okay. Because that's the background. And when we see most of us gallivant, gossip here and there, you think the person is harming you. You think I think they are harming me. No. The person is not harming me. The person is demonstrating what he has. And he has nothing other than that. So it's left for me to understand that person who probably may be coming from these demented psychological issues or psychopathological upbringing, whether it's coming from me or coming from anybody. Just to be somebody used empathy. I've forgotten who used the word empathy. I think it was Chelsea. Use the word just to, as a teacher, to empathize with the person while making sure that you're still on your seat. So that is the topic we are today. The summary of what we are trying to say is that we may be talking about peace. Peace to who? So you have to, and then just like what the woman said today during the presentation, he said, intra. Let peace be for you yourself. Just be sure of your own. Okay, Emmanuel Obi.
Okay. Um, Actually, the first time I came to Thailand, I want to quote you verbatim. The first time I came, you told me, Emmanuel, if you want to survive in Thailand, reshape your memory. That our mindset is here and that of them is here. And after the discourse, because I'm not a type that when you told me something, when you tell me something, I will just leave it that way. No. I started studying the Thailand character. Not only Thailand character, I've met many West, US, I've been in dialogue with them. I've been in a great conversation. We argue to some extent. And I got my valuables from them. And I saw a very big differences. Now, when we come about on this very study, the personality development. Now, there is a difference between slave and self. When we talk about self, SERF, when we talk about self, it's a when someone the self. Let me cite the reference within the scope of our origin. You know, when you want to serve somebody, after the service rendered, the person will say to you,
Yeah.
and slave is a perpetual struggleness, perpetual both hate, both struggle, both lies, both ignorant, everything negative is all about slave. And once a country is being enslaved and there is no, let's say, let me not use a revolution.
No solution.
No solution on this. There will be perpetual mistake until the country wakes up. Now, during the colonial era,
Then how can the country? Let's
okay, yes,
take it
I,
one
I,
after
I, I
that.
want to start from
As I
18.
continue the class. How can the country wake up?
Now,
Because definitely, if you mean the country Nigeria, Nigeria is not going to
yes,
wake up.
I want to cite this reference on Nigeria. I don't want to go beyond my scope, my origin. Let me talk the one that I can defend and I know properly well. So when we talk about Nigeria, first, if we can tell ourselves the truth,
You and who will tell the truth?
the Nigerian.
Tell us.
Now,
Tell us the truth that you know. Because
when
you say
you-
Nigerian, I'm mature enough to stand on your
Okay.
ground to make change.
Now, when you look at West, after the colonization, everybody departed according to their tribal line.
Mm.
In Nigeria, we have many ethnic groups. We have tribalism. We have nepotism. We have favoritism. We have Thai syndrome in
But it's the same.
government.
It's the same in the Western.
Now, if you come to the western part, they maintain that tribal line. When you are talking and I'm not able to hear you properly, I will misunderstand you. That is what happened where I'm serving. I talked in English, but the person couldn't be able to hear me and got me interpreted wrongly. Everything changed
That
at
is
once.
normal with life.
Now, and that is a very big challenge. The communication skills issues is one.
Mm.
Now, if a country who noticed that these tribal people, that there are many tribalism in the country, we need to depart. We need to segregate. Let us secede according to our tribal line. The ideology of an average Igbo man is not same with a Yoruba man. Ideology of a Yoruba man is not same with Hausa man. If you come to Igbo land,
So what is the problem then?
now, the problem is when the political actors, the state actors, cannot elevate the citizens to their destination. What destination do I mean? If you go to Igbo land, Abia State are entrepreneurs. They can produce bag, they can produce shoes. If you go to
All these
Oka,
are nice ideas. Well,
yeah,
I just want to know how.
yes, that
And
is what
why.
I'm saying.
Uh,
If the political actors first, let's say we separate according to the tribal line, there will be government principles, there will be government provision.
Separation is not done there. You should have there are elements of separations. You have to have them before you think about separation.
Yes, and if you, I don't want to bring,
By the way, this
I
class
don't
is
want
not
to
only
bring
for Igbo people
Biafra,
anyway.
but I just want to put it that there is a need to separate according to the tribal line first. Now,
So in other words, your submission is that the problem is because there is need to separate so that each people will go their separate ways to
separate
sort their
way.
problems out.
So that's, yes,
And that might solve the problem we are talking about.
yes, because
Okay, that is a very nice submission, and I agree with that. So any other one before I continue?
yeah, because and I want to take it
Because
to Africa entirely.
when Mike was talking about reinventing, actually, I will connect it with what Emmanuel Obi is saying. Sometimes I think part of the problem could be, just as you are saying, if we are not meant to be together, why should we be together? But the point is that the people that joined us together, they created, there's a contract, there is a structure they have already created, making it difficult if you are talking about Nigeria. And I think your country, they are also having that kind of a situation as well. Afghanistan, you're also having that kind of a situation as well. That is why the country is the way it is. Taliban and yeah, exactly. So the point is that who and who were smart enough to have put themselves in order. There are so many problems. And part of the problems could be that you need to part ways. But how would you part ways? What did you plan? How did you plan that pathway? Is it the one in Facebook? Or is it the one shouting and making noise in the Facebook? Is that the plan of the parting ways? Or the people that are planning for that pathways, how are they planning it to meet to fit in the idea that we're already in an existing country? And being in this existing country, we should have we have elements, we have procedures, we have the ways, intelligence in which we can just handle this thing instead of making noise in the Facebook. And at the end of the day, if your leader is caught, you betray the leader and run away to another person. And the another person is caught, you run away from that because there is no strategy. There is no systemic strategy. There is no plan. There is no focus. So it's even variegated. It's even problematic as well. So it's not a question of us saying that, of course, that is the best. Let each tribe in every country who think they have all the elements of what it means to stay alone, to be in a different country, to be a unique country, let them go. But the point is that you should have, there are certain elements, there are certain elements, and there are procedures, and there are principles, and there are ways things are supposed to be done. Because the United Nations, they are also running away from certain things, running away from burden that may come out if this particular country separates or secedes or whichever way becomes on their own, and then something happens tomorrow. Who will take care of that? It will now go back to United Nations. So that is why there are procedures, and those procedures must be handled by those people, intelligent, not just intelligent, smart and brilliant, professional enough to know all these procedures, so that you showcase the fact that you can get involved diplomatically, so that you'll be able to tell the world that you have what it takes, instead of creating a state that will cause another problem. Because there are so many people who wanted to be free, so many people who talk like freedom fighters, and they were allowed, at the end of the day, they turned the country to something else, worse than the way it was. So that's why United Nations, sometimes they're not stupid. They want to, if you are clamoring for marginalization, you want to be on your own country, well and good. But they are looking to see who are the people, what are your package, what are your plans, what are your procedures, who and who are the people talking, how are they talking about it? Instead of cursing people on Facebook and making noise like a nuisance, I mean, call it charlatan or what? Huh? Yeah, like market people, because the tendency will be that you don't have a standard, you don't have a strategy. Then what are you talking about? So that's why if all of you are learned and you know exactly what you want, that's why you should be the synergy. There should be a kind of synergy. Make use of your education, make use of everything you're learning, and then go back to this your tribe. Go back to the group and then provide the best way forward. That is if they will listen to you. Because you may be talking and they're saying exactly what you're saying now. By the time you go to join and tell them, look at how we're going to do, they will be against. They say you have been paid to come and scatter their procedure and the process. So that is why it's very important to actually have succeeding is not the issue. Separating is not the issue, but who is separating from who? And what do you have? That is very, very important. And if all of us here, some of us here that are from every tribe or each tribe, whichever tribe you're coming from, whether from Afghanistan, whether from Indonesia, or whether from Kenya, or whether from Nigeria, or whether from Liberia, look at the one that happened in Liberia. So there is also the issue of tribe. But the point is that where are the standards? Where are the procedures? Because the world is now global. We are no longer in olden days that some people will carry and kill and destroy every people there and take those people and absorb them in their own country. If it's no longer happening nowadays. Okay? So do you have any other thing to add before I continue?
You made mention of having the standard and going through the diplomatic process. And my question is, because that just beget a question now, what if the country that is struggling to exit from a particular region has been clamoring for years, and the world entirely, even United Nations, pay a deaf ear on that?
Who told you they paid? Who told you they paid?
After the colonization, I think within the scope of my study, maybe I may get it wrong, but there is a certain agreement that after this century, this particular state, the two amalgamated states, and I mean the amalgamated states they are free to go to their different tribal lines. Now, application of diplomacy and everything, body standard has been there, and yet the people holding the power couldn't allow those who want to exit.
If we talk about the areas you are talking, then you will see that actually not much has been done diplomatically. If we delve into it, but I will not delve into it because this class is not only for Nigerians and it's not only for Igbos. But then, if you have done much research, I hope you will still do. You find out that not much has been done actually, not. And then if it is actually that something must have been done, then think about the states in that particular, let me mention Igbo land as well. How many states you have and why the development is still very poor in those states. We are not talking about the generality of the Nigeria. We're talking about the governors governing the states. And why? Think about the political figures there. Think about what they are doing. Think about what they have achieved and why the state is like that. So I wouldn't think that enough has been done. Of course, there may have something must have been done, but not enough. Because and then internal arrangement is also very, very important. That you and I, you are coming from this particular state. Emmanuel is coming from this particular state. Emmanuel Ngozi coming from this particular state. Emmanuel Mba, different state. And myself, different state. You see? The 5 states, known 5 states. You need to first of all showcase that thing you are trying to say you want to succeed. You want to be alone. You want to separate. Just show it in your place first. And then team together to come up and say, look at what we have done in our place. All in our places, look at what we have achieved. Demonstrating that we are capable of this. If I ask you, you know, it has not been done. So if we're not, even if those people are political elites that are not interested in separation, but how come that every time we vote them in there? Who are the people voting them? If you are giving them Indomie, you are collecting Indomie and you are voting the people that you don't want, or you are collecting 2,000 naira or whatever, then it's still a problem. It's still a problem.
But the recent election showed us that the vote doesn't count.
You may be following normal person's argument, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. Political figures, they know how to do things, and then you should follow how they do things. Also, even in your own ways of emotional wrangling. Because when you were there, you and I, we were there dancing. 75, Obi, 76, Kerereke, 78, Obi, 79, Obi, one name. And those of them that knew very well how the politics could take place, they were busy somewhere plotting the stuff. While you and I got emotionally carried away. So, that is why we're talking about personality development. Hello? Chidunweka, are you in this class today? I'm sure. Okay, now let's move on. Your dream will not die. I used to use this phrase all the time. Your plans will not fail, and your destiny will not be aborted. The desire of your heart will not be granted, only if you believe in yourself. The desire of your heart will be granted only if you believe in yourself. This is not a child play. Emmanuel, please, can you pay attention to this class? Whenever you come to my class, please try to stop all these distractions. I repeat, your dream will not die, your plans will not fail, and your destiny will not be aborted. The desire of your heart will be granted only if you believe in yourself. The question is that what do you mean by believe in yourself? When you guys call me doctor or professor, I laugh sometimes because if you go through what I've gone through in life, even to be educated, even to have gone to school, you can never believe it. And I put it to you that I am the one that sponsored myself secondary school and all the studies I've done to date. Why? The desire of your heart will be granted only if you believe in yourself. Today, I'm sure most of you were trained by your parents from primary, secondary, and university. Most of you here. At least you got the basic pampering. I never did. It was not my effort. It's not hidden, it's a known thing in my town. So today when people call me doctor, I feel like I do get different feeling. Unlike what you may imagine. Emmanuel, are you there? So what we're trying to say is that when you talk about peace, you talk about governance, always remember this thing. The desire of your heart will be granted only if you believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you have peace? Even if you have peace and you are expressing it to someone else who doesn't have the peace, how would you survive it? We all want to be successful for our peers, parents, or simply ourselves. But the desire to be successful is not enough. Success needs a lot of confidence and trust in oneself and a great personality. Do you agree with that? Success is not only talking, 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 talking. I want to be successful. Which kind of personality do you control? Do you command? Because at the end of the day, it's you, not me. Think deep into yourself. Even if somebody is writing exams for you, you must have struggled and suffered to read at least to some extent. And then we are all sitting here today at this point in time, instead of going for party. Today is Saturday, right? At night, Collins, are you chewing gum? Are you chewing gum? You're looking at me as what is this man talking? I have the sense that, oh, what bullshit is this man talking? And you're waiting for time to go home. We say it in the classroom and it sounds very simple. And I want to repeat it as a teacher and as a lecturer. The key is here. Trust in oneself and the great personality. And allow gossip to keep going. And allow interpreters to keep interpreting. And allow those who will misconstrue and try to misrepresent your personality to keep. Don't. The worst is that if you pay attention to them, you make them important. Just allow them to be talking. Maybe after talking, they will still come back to you. Sometimes when they come back to you, they come with some of them fake apology, some of them genuine apology. But the most important thing is that why are they coming back? They're coming back because of this. Success needs a lot of confidence and trust in oneself and a great personality. Are you there? Do you have great personalities? You are Sepi or you are right? Do you think you have a great personality?
I don't think so, but I'm on the process
You are in
because
process of having a great.
because every day we learn every day, we evolve every day.
Okay.
So I don't think I have a great
That's the best
personality.
answer I've ever seen, and that's how we grow. So great personality is not by talking. It's not by talking too much. And great personality is not because you are very masculine. Is it masculine? You call it? Would be. Just like look at this guy. He looks, very stout and very, very heavy. That is not great personality. Is not because you're a man. You have everything a man has. No. After some of us that look like women, like when you see me, sometimes I grew up as a child. As a child, people think that I don't have bone. Yes, I was not beaten when I was like 5 years because I was just, very. It's just now that I'm a little bit masculine. How do you pronounce that word? Is it? But English teachers help me. It's just not that I'm a little bit masculine, but believe it or not, when I was growing up, I was so soft. But the only issue is that my own tool, my own story is that I have bad mouth. You can beat me, but you will never rest throughout that month. You can do anything you want, but you know what? Fortunately, for that bad mouth has been keeping me, and people are running away from beating me because of what I will be saying and what I'll be talking and the way I'll be cursing them and saying all sort of unacceptable things. I'm talking about childhood when I was in primary school, secondary school. So what am I talking about here? Despite all this body, the way my God created me to come into the world, and I owe nobody no explanation or no answer to that. I don't think if you ever deal with me, you will see me as somebody who is not strong-willed. You see, physiological aspect or physiology could not actually match with this great personality or confidence. There are some men that you see very masculine, but they cannot withstand any pressure. They can't. Don't even bring it to them. But you know, as you see me, bring millions of them. Stay here. I am used to it. I grew up for it. Now we stay here. Hello. And for the fact that I'm even 50, oh, when I cross 50, I say, oh my God, up me. I never knew that I would last to 50. So what are you talking about? So great personality is the most important thing. When you talk about peace or talk about pieces or whichever one you want to talk about, even in conflict is great personality. Even in conflict. Otherwise, you will suffer heart attack. You will die before your time. Because even people who are very close to you, majority of them are not close to you because they like you. Oh, don't ever make such mistake. Even those who come and praise you, they are not there because they like you. Let there be a problem. Let there be a kind of an issue. Then you will know who is who. Most people surround you. You think they are for you. Come on. I just pity you to have even deceived your world into thinking that you are living on someone, you are living hoping on someone, or that you are assisting someone thinking that he will come to help you, assist you. It doesn't work that way. Or you have assisted someone thinking even if he comes here and sees your weakness, he will hide your weakness and help you to, oh, come on, forget it. Don't get deceived. All that glitters is not gold. But the most important thing that will keep you, remember, success needs a lot of confidence and trust in oneself and a great personality. Do you get that? Don't take it as class work only. Even if you leave this class today, that is what will move around in your life. If you have not started, I believe that some of you have already started. But I bet you, take it again. It mustn't come from friends. It might even come from your father, or your mother, or your siblings, or your family members. Those that will bring you down. People spend time, instead of bettering their life, they spend time talking about another person. Spend time trying to discuss about another person's chosen lifestyle, or another person's chosen occupation, another person's administrative work. And that is why, if we get back to Africa, I pity us. Because part of our problems is that we rarely think about ideas to develop. Rather, we spend on gossip, talking about the leaders that have not done well. Let's take, for instance, Tinubu. Tinubu is, why are you laughing? Tinubu is a Nigerian president, but don't forget, Tinubu studied, went through primary school, secondary school, university, and has gone through all sorts of things a man should do in your age. And now he's the president. Can you be the president tomorrow? Definitely you may not, because you are busy gossiping. As a matter of fact, Tinubu is better than you and I, whether you like it or not. It's not either or. He's the president of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's not by noise. It's not by talking. It's not by just bringing all this nonsense we talk. Come on. Think about the man, Tinubu, when he was 20 years, when he was 23 years, when he was 25 years or 30 years, as you are now. If you can think like that, you start to do what we call mental surgery about the impression why, even in Africa, we don't grow. Because part of the reasons, if you ask me, is because we rarely think positive. We just see negativism and embrace it and hug it all the time. We can analyze things, we can say, if you see how we're analyzing something, perfect. But that person analyzing all those things, have a business with him for 1 week. Do business with him for 1 week. Just go, test yourself. or maybe borrow the person money. Don't go far, just 5,000 baht is okay. And then the person will tell you that he will bring it back to you next week. Okay, that next week, let's see if he brings it back. If he didn't bring it back, let's see if he even have the attitude to beg and then calm you down. Other than I beg, don't this. Is it because of 5,000 baht? And yet the same person will come and tell me Tinubu is bad. Or which other one? Buhari. You see people who are already made their life forever in this world because of how they started. And you are now in the same level they are, gossiping, gallivanting, and junketing about. Each time you talk, what you are busy is somebody analysis. Empty vessel, they said empty vessel. How do they put it? Empty vessel makes most noise. So Africans, wake up and stop fucking yourself up. Just wake up if you want. Great personality. Look at this Thailand that we're supposed to handle very simple. And they're handling us. Sometimes they consider us a buffalo. they consider us a buffalo, whether you like it or not. And that is why you see some of us having this Thai lady, how many Thai lady or whatever. And then, come on, give me a break. These people, most of them, not all of them, they simply take you as a buffalo. Whether you like it or it's only you that are thinking that a human being. I didn't say the country. I'm talking about some of the ladies. I'm not saying this. Some of the ladies, and they will write it also that you're buffalo. Have they not written it to you before? If they have not, okay, watch out. Because buffalo, that is why some of them that are dejected, and cannot even be allowed by any of their men, they rush over you and then control your life and begin to tell you, Smile, this one you are not, I think they have dealt with you. Yeah. Even myself, I'm full of experience on that. Yes. My own experience is more than you can imagine. But the only difference is that I'm strong. If I remember how I suffered to be where I am, who are you to come and tell me, oh, come on, don't do that. I give you the time, I give you the date, I give you when I want to talk or when I want to talk with you or not. That is it. So what are we trying to talk about? Don't forget, we are talking about, peace is not on the moon. Then success needs a lot of confidence, trust in oneself, and a great personality. After this class, you might decide to ask yourself whether you're a great personality or not, or you're among those gallivanting, gossiping, and talking about issues that are not your concern. Before you start to work on your personality, you need to understand yourself. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. I've actually concluded this PowerPoint before I started explaining it. That's exactly what I did. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. This will enable you to focus on what part of you need the maximum attention. Do you know the one that needs attention in your life? Not about me. I'm already taking care of myself. Don't worry about me. I know part of me that I need attention when I need it, because I reflect about my life on a daily basis. Sometimes I also ask people, please, can you tell me what you think about me? Hello? Look at it there. Before you start to work, this grammar is wrong. Before you start working on your personality, you need to understand yourself. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. This will enable you to focus on what part of you need the maximum attention. Simon Peter, do you know part of you that needs maximum attention? Are you sure? Charles, Chidok you know already. Somto, Do you know part of it that demands my attention? Is it in the class answer or just you really know? Dixon, His Excellency, sir, are you sure you have any weakness at all? Now you guys are the blessed ones now. You are the ones that are blessed. You are the ones that decide for us. Okay, Chelsea, are you aware of your weakness? Mike, are you aware of your weakness? Because some people don't even know their weakness. And they are here doing master's degree in peace studies and diplomacy. How can you talk about peace when you don't know your weakness and know how to attend to it? Hello, do you know your weakness? Are you sure? Okay, at least the one I remember is that you chat me all the time. I want to know about ID. Want to ask me about your student ID all the time. So, okay, Emmanuel, do you know your weakness? Huh? Yes, sir. At least the one, the other time, Emmanuel Ngozi bought. Hey, look at the weakness of Emmanuel Ngozi. Emmanuel Ngozi has not paid his school fees, but he bought us takeaway. I don't know whether that is weakness or strength. How can you be selfless when you're not paying your school fees? Huh? He can give like Christ now, so he's the second Christ. Okay, his name is Emmanuel. There was a day, that was last semester, correct? We have banana, we have some cookies, and we have so many things. That's IS card, right? And we are eating all this, all of a sudden, ask who bought it. They say it's Emmanuel Ngozi. But Emmanuel Ngozi has not paid his school fees, but he has the money to buy. That was last semester. Anyway, we are very happy we have someone like him who is very selfless. But we pray that the Lord Jesus will bring money. Chosen, I think chosen. He's a chosen now. So Emmanuel Obi, do you know your weakness? Are you sure? Okay, Smith. Collins, are you aware of your weakness?
Yes, I'm aware, sir.
Are you sure? I hope it's not only class answer. Are you aware? Okay. So that's the bottom line here. Knowing fully well that you are weak. Because if you're able to know that you have weakness, you'll be able to understand leaders when they are weak. You'll also able to understand anybody you are under, or even those under you. Because that's the essence of knowing your weakness. Because we are all human. I don't think I'm here talking as if I'm a saint. Don't ever put me in that place. Put me where I belong. And where I belong is I'm a sinner, like every other person. Okay. Answer the questions below and document your attributes like, dislike, etc. and reflect on what tests back at you. Okay, now, because we don't have time, we are taking the time. What are your strengths and limitations? That is the question you ask yourself. What would you excel at? Where are you gifted? Where is your talent? Where is your strength? Do you know that? What you like best about yourself? What do you really like something best about yourself? Because if you answer all these things correctly, then you will learn to understand life, understand people. Because if you don't understand yourself, how can you understand people? What is that you need to do to bring in tremendous positive influence in your life? Is it by getting master's degree in peace studies and diplomacy? What makes you happy? So many things, different people from different. What makes me happy might not be what makes you happy. What makes you happy? Very, very important. We don't need to share what makes each other happy, because what makes me happy might not be. If I say it now, it might be a scandal for you. What makes me happy? If I say it now, it might be a scandal for you. You may say, "Oh, Holy Ghost." If you're a Christian, say, "Holy Ghost fire. I need the deliverance." No, I don't need to say it because it might be a scandal for because there are so many minds here. Why should I say what makes me happy? Because you didn't ask me about it. If you directly ask me about it, I will tell you what makes me happy. No, I will tell you after the class. because you don't intend to ask me. You were told to ask me. Oh my God. Why are you interested in what makes me happy? You should be you should be interested in what makes you happy as you. Oh my God, this is funny. So, as we soldier on, what would you like to change the most about yourself? What would you like to change the most about yourself? What are you most proud of achieving in life? What I would say I am proud of achieving in life. If I say it now, it might not be necessary for you, but that is for me. It's personal. But then the one that I can share with you here is that if you in this class we are now, I have a Mangozi that graduated in Siam. If not because of me, Mangozi wouldn't be in Thailand. And then he finished his undergraduate and went back home. And I never chatted with him for many, many years. All of a sudden, he wanted to come back to Thailand again. And today he's in Thailand. So it gave me impression that the first time he came, Thailand was good for him, and now he came back for the second time. Then that makes me happy. I look at Emmanuel Obi. Yeah, the one the professor. Yes. Whenever I hold microphone, then you have to be ready. You see how I try to cut him so that we continue the class. before he will scatter the class again. So he's from the same place with me, at least from birth. And then, because of my knowledge, that's why he's in Thailand. So you see, the question here is, what are you most proud of achieving in life? So in other words, I'm not saying that I'm sponsoring him or I don't have money for that. I'm not saying I'm paying his school fees, so Holy Ghost fire. But I'm saying that he was able to come here through my connections to know if his life will be better for him. That's all. Don't ever cross my room. Whatever you see, you take. That is Thailand. Another one is Shinedu. Look at this one. Yes. He's also from the same place with me. Can you imagine? Yeah. And then he was working somewhere that was working in the road safety. Was working in Nigerian road safety. What they call them? Road safety, right? Road safety. Those people that will stay in the light in the sun, under the sun, waiting for cars, buses or cars that are not ensuring our safety. Are they really ensuring our safety? but I heard that whenever they hear unknown government, they run. Yeah, the best form of safety is also you know, some guys posted in the Facebook where those safety people were running when they have the shot of unknown government. even police they run too. So that is my happiness. I'm not saying that I'm contributing anything currently. No, I am not. He's here to live his life. And then finally is Michael. Again, from the same town with me also. So, these are to mention but a few. So when you ask me, if I die tomorrow, I'm not interested, I'm not even expecting them to do anything to me or me do anything to them. But the most important thing, what are you most proud of achieving in life? For me, even if I don't achieve anything, that one I don't achieve it. Whether the person go home empty-handed, now his own cup of tea. I've done my own part. Then what do you wish you always had? If you ask me, this one is a very, very deep. I think I would. How I wish my first marriage would have been. Would have been that would have. I had married the person that would have lasted. You see, because my first marriage was somehow. Because once you start making one mistake, I won't call it mistake. When you step wrongly, you keep on going like this. I wish I'm like Dixon that married only once and enjoying it. Smith, people like say you had the same experience with me. We understand ourselves. We understand ourselves. You know, you may not understand. You're not yet married, so shut up. You understand that? Many of, how many of you are married here? Only one. Only. Are you married? Oh, really? No wonder sometimes you're looking like someone that is lost. I don't believe that this one is married. It doesn't look like. Oh, legally is married. Thai woman. Illegally. Okay, yeah. Oh, Ngozi is married. He married and kept them in Nigeria. And then, is it? And the big man, I think he's married too. Illegally. Before he started coming, I think I told him to make sure he pregnant someone. I don't know whether he listened to me or not. There is no, once you have a kid, you are married because you are not a father. So whether it is stamped or not, it doesn't matter. So, for those of you that are not married yet, just pray that when you meet the first person, let that person be the one that will understand you. Because the issue in marriage is not about a bad or good. I don't think so. It's about who understands who better. Sometimes people call it love. If you call it love, it's okay, but with my experience, I wouldn't use the word love. I will use the word understanding and respect. Once you see a woman or a man that understands you, because imagine how old you are from your parents, and you now started living with someone that one character might be pissing you off or something like that. So it's not an easy thing, marriage. No wonder God made it in such a way that when a woman comes, you pregnant the woman so that she will be busy with pregnancy. After pregnancy, she delivers, she will be busy with the kid. Otherwise, that thing not be a small thing. It's not an easy thing, actually. Marriage is a sacred union that you pray for to see the one that will understand you and will understand. Anyway, as an African man, no wonder our fathers married 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, I don't know even where I'm heading to. Okay. Introduction to personality development. By answering these questions and making notes, you'll be able to identify what areas you need to focus on. And areas can help you excel to develop your personality. Hello? Education is not about getting degrees and getting the paper. They say you have a degree. Many of us have it, but they don't have job. Even in Nigeria, sometimes they say they have graduated, but there's no job. I don't believe that, actually, because I believe in individual empowerment. Because some students, they even got job before they even graduated, just like she do here. We are talking about road safety. He was in road safety, but he was studying, supporting himself working in Nigeria. That is it a Nigeria? They are Nigerian government, right, or individual? Federal. Can you imagine? He's on studies. Very soon he will go back and continue to stand on the sun. But the fact is that he was there sponsoring himself at the same time working in the same country. So sometimes laziness, gossip can destroy mindset. Some people just gossip. That's the talking. That's the only thing they are after. And they tell you when they have graduated, they don't have any job. They didn't see any job. Are you employable? Is the question. Are you employable? Mike here, I'm talking about the people I know. He was studying, but he had a shop. Employed people, so you don't know that? Okay, let me not be talking too much so that I will not be exposing them. Yeah. In the same country, if there's no job, create one for yourself. Some people will not do that. They keep gallivanting, gossiping, and talking rubbish. And Emmanuel Mba, this one is about to sleep or just legally or illegally. So Emmanuel Mba is another very hardworking, extraordinary, committed student I've ever seen in Siam University since he got into Siam University. Very serious-minded person. I doubt if he ever gossips at all because he doesn't have any element of that. He's a person that's very serious. He enrolls in a semester, studied that semester with a good GPA as well. And whenever the semester finishes, he runs back to Nigeria to continue his business. While some of us are here gallivanting, looking for one Thai lady or jumping from one Thai lady or not, gossiping, looking for rubbish. At the end of the day, he said there is no job. Who says so? So, I think Emmanuel Ngozi went and worked as a politician. And maybe he was not well paid. He ran back to Thailand. Yeah, is it okay? Yeah, okay. He was a commissioner. I don't know whether he's commissioner or PA. Don't you see how he talks whenever he talks? Existing protocol with this one as a point of contact. That is how they deceive us in Nigeria. With all this big grammar. I would have been happy. I mean, I would have loved it if he had asked questions today so that I know how he would start. You will know whether he will say, as a president of service at my point of contact. Okay, we'll move on. Just to give you a hint that some people are already making it in life without talking too much. The question then is, what is personality? Personality is what we perceive in our mind. What is inside, the thoughts or the conflict inside contribute greatly to our physical appearance. There is a certain image that we hold of ourselves and what is projected outside. Personality is what you are and your identity. In this class, we are going to be presenting tips that you can relate to incorporate into your everyday life to emerge as a well-rounded personality. Personality of an individual, which is manifested in attitude, presentation, and conduct, is extremely critical. Unlike other scales, personality is intrinsic to individuals and is very unique. Can personality development be taught? The answer is no. I'm not here to teach personality development. But it surely can be groomed. Thailand cannot change you. If you are coming from a gossiping background, you keep gossiping. The only thing is that if you want to attend to yourself, you might be better off by putting yourself and then checking areas you can adjust. Otherwise, keep talking. After this class, go back to where you are drinking with your mates. Keep talking. Keep destroying Tinubu. Keep praying for evil against him. But because he's progressing every day, you're not his God. or keep talking or one minister in Nigeria, for most of you that are from Nigeria. Keep destroying leaders who are progressing. The reason is because, the reason why they are progressing is because you are gossiping. Because if you're not gossiping, if you're helping yourself, you develop yourself enough to go and take over from them. Hello? You would develop yourself enough to go and take over from them. Or even develop yourself enough to come and take over my office. Because it's vacant. It's vacant provided you have the capacity and the qualification. Personality development is about choosing and adopting a particular personality. It is about the ability of an individual to adjust in his environment, and that can be facilitated with interventions. Personality development is a continuous process, and the evaluation of individual personality is linked to his personal and professional growth. It is often multifaceted, and individuals display different personalities at different places and in different phases of his life. Of course, myself as a son is different from myself as a husband. Is different from myself as a father. Is different from myself as a friend. So we share different set of personality. Your personality as a son, daughter, and friend is completely different than what you are as a boss. Some students, they see me differently as an administrator and differently as a lecturer. Sometimes I'm not the same person. As an administrator, I may be too serious. As a class lecturer, I may be flexible. Some personalities, just look at what he said. Essentially, your business personality is different from your personal personality. Your personality when you are a student to your personality as a family member is different. Your personality as a road safety officer is different from MFPD student. Simon Peter, your personality, this one you're looking at me. Is there anything? The kind eyes is looking at me. I don't. Okay. He's thinking about his wife and children. Now I understand. Emmanuel, from today, next time I come to my class, I wouldn't like you to be touched. No, no, no. I want you not to touch. I know you're intelligent, you're getting it. I want to know when you're paying attention or not. Next class, I won't allow you to. Okay, we move on. There will be no class next week because we have studied more than. We have studied more than today. Because we have studied too long. Yeah. So two weeks already. That's how we do it. Yeah, I'm trying to buy you over so that you'll not collapse, so that I finish by why next week no class. Because we studied longer than expected from presentation of Peace Day to this one. So that's why we have to be patient. Let's round up. The need to develop your personality in line with people, place, time, etc. underlines the importance of personality development. Requires a set of skills that need to be learned, at times unlearned. Which skill you need to be learned and unlearned for your personality? Who can tell me? Professor? You read that? Which skill? Do you know the skill it's talking about?
Well, let me read it. The need to develop.
The need to develop your personality in line with people, place, time, etc. underlines the importance of personality development. Requires a set of skills. So you need to learn.
Yeah, the skills. When we talk about the skills, we can talk about the communication skills, the approach you use on human being.
Very good. Very good. You have to learn how to talk to people. Learn how to present yourself. There are many things you can learn. That is why we are learning on a daily basis every day. Because you might be talking and you might be offending some people, knowingly or unknowingly. Okay. So, basic type of personality. There are people who are known to be leaders. There are people known to be leaders. It's a gift. And there are people who learned it. These are areas of interest. And sometimes don't be jealous of somebody because he's a good leader. It's his gift or her gift. His charisma, correct. Then there are people in this world who are very social. I'm trying to jump because I'm looking at your faces. My knowledge of psychology will not be a waste. So there are people who are socializers, extroverts. Wherever they are, you will know they are around. They talk too much. They express themselves. That is their personality. Don't be jealous of them. Don't be envious of them. There are people who don't like people who talk. And there are people who don't like people who express themselves. That is the problem because the person that is very jealous of the person is having problem. There are people, wherever they are, they make a lot of contribution. They will be talking, even bring out themselves, even when you didn't ask for it. Why other people will not be happy with that? But that is their personality. If they don't do it, they are not comfortable. I mean, they are not comfortable. There will be peace. It depends. That is what we're talking about, understanding. Actually, that is a match. Technical, that is a match. If you want development, if you want a resounding community, because you cannot have every time quiet. Then the room will be just like an introvert marrying an introvert. Where's the mic? Okay, give to.
I want to ask, aside from having a partner who's an extrovert when you're an introvert, is there a way an introvert can develop into maybe a little bit of extrovert? Because so many introverts are struggling. They are not happy that they can socialize. They are not happy that they can express themselves. Is there a way?
Any introvert that is not happy is not happy with his life, which is wrong.
Okay.
But then, when you talk about is there any way to match? Do you think I'm an introvert or I'm extrovert? Huh? I'm in between. Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert?
I think you are an extrovert.
Extrovert? Yes. Do you think I'm an introvert or extrovert?
No.
Extrovert. Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert? Both. Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert? I'm introvert. Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert? Both. Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert? Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert?
What is going on is that you make the choices depending on the two person.
So what?
Do you think I'm introvert or extrovert?
I listen, still like you're extrovert, but we look at depend on the situation.
Wow. Hey, man, do you think I'm introvert or extrovert? But. Huh? What is he saying? But. Which one is that?
Both of them, anyway, just move the both intro and extro. Just leave it.
Actually, technically, I grew up as an introvert. My primary school, my secondary school, and everything about me actually it should be introvert. That is where I find joy and happiness. But along the line, the responsibilities given to me, the jobs given to me, the situations given to I found myself, I try to, I don't know whether to use the word pretend or whatever. Yeah, I got myself groomed into, that's why some of you say depending on the situation, groomed into extrovert. But if you ask me which one is my real self, the one I enjoy most, is just to be on my room and lock the door. Frankly speaking. Afghanistan students is laughing. To be inside my room and lock the door. That is my happiest moment. And then to be in this my office and lock this office. My happiest moment actually is to be alone. But unfortunately, as God will have it, I was given assignments and responsibilities that made me relate with people. Then I started finding myself talking with people. Initially, I'm a person that I'm not approachable. I don't even care. I don't even want you to come to me. I'm not even interested going to you. Don't even think I'm existing. Initially, frankly speaking. But then as a person, I'm also a gifted person. In any society I found myself, I always try to contribute and make my input there. But that input, making input has nothing to do with extrovert and introvert. So, I ask you, are you introvert or extrovert? Introvert. Introvert? Emangozi, are you extrovert or introvert? Which one? Extrovert. Extrovert. Okay. Are you sure? Mike, are you are extrovert? Your own is even too much. Are you extrovert or introvert? Okay. This is both. Yeah. Okay, Simon Peter, are you introvert or extrovert? Huh? Are you introvert or extrovert? Simple. Chad, are you introvert or extrovert? Introvert that stays at home and just waiting for the next day, not even today. Today in the morning, extrovert are already waiting for the next day, not today. Okay. Somto, are you introvert? Collins, introvert, but not in the beer parlor. Not in the beer parlor. Smith, are you extrovert or introvert? Both? Manuel Obi, extrovert or introvert? You are an introvert? Wow. That was there. 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 So, Afghanistan, are you introvert or extrovert? Introvert. Okay. So there will be peace in a society if you understand every personality and know that this is this personality. That is the essence. That is the connection with this cause. Understanding people, this person cannot be you, and you cannot be this person. This is this person, and this is that person, not you. I'm not sure if you are connecting it. Are you getting the connection? Yeah. Because if you get it, then society will be at peace. Society will be wonderful. Then how about perfectionists? Perfectionists. Everything must be perfect. Dot, cross all the T's and dot all the dots. If you give them assignments, all the assignments must be in order. So perfectionists. Dot all the dots, cross all the T's. If you submit assignment or whatever, in fact, okay now.
I have a question.
Huh?
I have a question.
Pardon?
You have a question.
Okay.
Regarding the previous slide,
Yes.
I want to ask: do you think it's everyone has a capacity to identify people's problem?
Everybody has a capacity to
Yeah. Do you
identify,
think it's all persons have the capacity to identify people's problem? People's
okay, me
problem.
identifying people's
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. Do you think it's everyone have that
I don't think.
capacity?
If you ask me direct question, I don't think. But then we are being trained to also be sensitive in a society. So if you get that kind of training, it's possible to be able to, but not everybody. Some people are gifted differently. I may be gifted in identifying that, but another person may not.
So those people who may not, who don't have the capacity. What do you think that can bring a sensitization on them? That that can say. What do you think that will I say educating
I
them
understand
or
your question. It's a personal thing. A mature person. I'm not the one that if somebody wakes up in the morning, showers, I'm not the one showering the person. And then the person after showering, he knows how to clean up the body and then go wherever he wants to go. So that means that suggests the person should also learn the society, be sensitive, learn to do certain things, if not all. But in terms of vocation, we are not called to behave in certain ways. Like if I could be able to know how to identify people's problem, you may not. If I have it 100%, you may have it 50%. Another person may have it 10%. So, but it depends on someone to bring himself or herself up in anywhere he wants, any area of life. Because it's very, very important. Because if you're going to get married, you're going to have children, and your duty as a father is to try to identify the problems of your children. So that's why it's very necessary. But not all parents can easily grasp it immediately. So, this gift and talent and skills work in certain ways. But that is why we are here, sitting here, to learn all these things, the one we can, to develop ourselves towards becoming a better personality. So now we're talking about perfectionists. Mike, this is my class. You're one of those I dictated, I always use phone in my class. The day I will the day I will start my own personality, the person will be shocked because I identify people who get distracted easily. Okay, are you a perfectionist? No? Okay, Emmanuel Obi, are you a perfectionist? No. Smith, are you a perfectionist? No. Wow. Are you a perfectionist? Okay. Collins, are you a perfectionist? No. Eman Gozi, are you a perfectionist? Yes, sir. I don't seem to see you as a perfectionist, but it might be in some area. Mike, are you a perfectionist? Huh? Not a little bit. I think you're a perfectionist. Chance, are you a perfectionist? Yes, correct. Are you a perfectionist? You look like one. Yeah, that's the same thing with me. Simon Peter, are you a perfectionist? No. Shade, are you a perfectionist? Yes. Okay. How about me? Do you think I'm a perfectionist? Yes. Huh? Oh my God. Look at everybody shouting. actually, when I was in the seminary, my greatest weakness, according to our formators, is that I tend to be too perfectionist a person. But anyway, I won't blame myself because then I was naive of so many things. I don't even know the world. I've not even experienced anything. In fact, it's in Thailand I started experiencing life. Because then I will tell you I'm 100% perfectionist. My room should be dressed in this way. In fact, if anybody enters my room, I know. If if I put certain things in certain places, don't deceive yourself. I know how. In fact, my classroom is me, even if I am not here. If I come back, I will know where if somebody entered and what the person did when he enters and left. My own perfectionism is so extreme, but not now. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with perfectionists. But anyway, without perfectionists, the world will not stand. That is what psychologists said.
Yeah.
They are the only reason why the world is standing because the system will collapse. Then you have anarchy. Then the classroom, now everybody will do whatever he wants. Just like in my class, not in my class, you shake phone, I know. When you drop it and do everything, even as I'm seeing those, that's my gift. And I'm also adding it with sensitiveness. I smell a lot. Even when somebody who is there, I've already seen if he's smelling, you have other, if he has odor or if he has a scent or perfume or whatever. Unfortunately, I don't like perfume. Because once I put it here, the whole day is gone because I won't be feeling comfortable. So everybody has gotten his own or her own area. So my own perfectionist, you are very correct. Everything, things must be in order. If it's not in order, I'm not comfortable. But it doesn't mean that I'm orderly. Maybe I'm not. So introvert, you know all that. So the essence of all these will be nothing but just for us to understand the need to incorporate the concept of peace and governance with personality development. We are at war. Let's say that in Russia, you are talking about Russia at war with Ukraine. Okay, now go and check the history of Putin, his personality. Yeah, think about his personality development. Go and check. Go and check his life. Because every time, if a leader that thinks this way, another leader thinks that way, when he's in that seat, he will be ruling the country based on his personality. You yourself listening to me, if you're a teacher, you are teaching students based on you are not going to borrow another personality. The same thing is applicable to myself as I'm sitting here as your teacher. Everything is tailored down to my personality. You yourself that you are listening to me as I am talking, all about personality. Hello, are you guys there? Okay, so now I need your own contribution. That's the next part of the class before we finish. So, how do we connect personality and peace and governance? Your own experience. So let's start with you. How can we connect peace and governance with personality? Tell us your experience and share your experience with us.
Well,
Peace and governance and personality. What are the areas of similarities and differences, if any?
Peace, governance, and personality is combining together with each other. It's like a chain. It's connected with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Without personality, you cannot be a very good govern. You cannot have a very good governance. Not like even
How?
because everything needs your personality. Like it shows your attitude towards that particular place where you are in. So for that you need a particular personality. Like some people good in some area. So for peace and government, when you are like going to talk or negotiate or whatever, like it comes in front. For that, personality matters a lot.
Okay, so over to you, Emmanuel Obi. Can you connect this topic with personality and governance?
okay. When we talk about the personality of an individual, um, we talk about the communication skills. We talk about the adaptability of an individual. For example, first, leaving Nigeria, come to Thailand. When someone leaves Nigeria and come to Thailand, are you so easy to adapt the environment, to adapt the nature of the environment you may have find yourself? If the belief system of the country you come to is not same with yours, we will be quickly to adapt with the system first. Now, to connect this with the governance, when we talk about governance, the personality of the the leaders, the political actors, the state actors, we determine the shape of the country. If someone whose personality is so violent in nature comes in a seat to rule a country, you will find out that the person will be ruling the country with coercion, use of force. If any little thing comes, the person mindset, the person perception is basically on using of force to subjugate maybe to when two parties will be having a conflict, a country and a country, instead of the person to go into diplomatic dialogue, the person will likely to prefer use of coercion. Let me deploy soldiers so that they will subject these people, disarm them, and have a total control. That is what we see in some countries. And when you look at as an individual whose personality is so calm, who takes time to psychologically study human behavior, know the weakness to pinpoint where this person is weak. Okay, have already know the problem of this person. Maybe it's all about financial aspect. Let us sort it out. I've known this person, maybe this person is so frustrated because of the background he might come up with. And you find out that all these, the political readers we find, if you check from 1 to 10 of them, their personality is so different. And that's why if they are governing any particular state, you will see that the number one may be doing so well than the other. Not that the person that is doing so well is an angel. No, that is the perception, that is mindset, that is the personality. He has understand what the people is going through. If you see an individual whose personality, who have a compassionate heart, and let me take an example of the Imo State and Abia State, Enugu State, Anambra State leaders. When you look at the both sides, you will see that they are working in different perception. What this person believes to work in his system is not what this person believes. That is all about the personality. This personality may be different, violent, humility, or this person may, the political statue, the political practices of this person may be different. Now, let me implore what Niccolo Machiavelli stated in one of his theory concerning the governance. In one of his theory, he stated there that before you assume into any political position, you must possess a camaraderie character. Now, when you watch in this very theory, you must possess a camaraderie character. And when you talk about chameleon, you know when a chameleon changes from this color to this color, from this color, and some political analysts may give an interpretation that it depends on the adaptability of that individual. If the goods come, you change to the good. If the bad comes, you change to the bad. You do not have to allow anybody to predict your next movement. That is his own theory. That is his own perception. And that is what is linking to different mindset of our individual who is trying to assume into political position. The personality may affect the system entirely. And if the personality is so bad, believe me, the leadership may be so bad. You cannot give out what you don't have. You only give out what you have. I rest my case.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Smith.
Okay, governance and personality, they have linked together. Yeah, they are connected because you give what you have. Okay, as a leader, what you have in you is what you give out. Okay, it's just like ethics and morality. Ethics, the ethical part of life are the principles. Then the morality is like the action. So governance is the exercise you carry out, the action. So if you have bad character,
as a leader is what you are going to carry out. Some leader they have emotional problem. Yeah, like if you look at the US, the Democrat and the Republican, you see Donald Trump, he has emotional problem. So each time you interview him, you always see that action, that emotion in him.
Is Donald Trump having
emotional?
Is he having any emotional problem?
Yeah,
How do you know?
I know from the interview. Like they gone down the interview.
Donald Trump having
Donald
emotional
Trump,
problem.
yeah, the
What is the
debate.
concept of emotional problem?
The debate, he said that the immigrants are eating cat and dog. You see
That's just an idea now. Yeah, it doesn't mean that has emotional problem. Are they not eating cats and dog?
Where is it, the evidence?
But they are suffering. That you see some of them that are floating on the river, and some of them are hungry here and there. Why are they coming? They are coming because of hunger.
Yeah, they are coming, but miracle.
The point is that Donald Trump says things as he sees it. That is not emotional problem. He reports things as he sees it. He does. He's not trying to take a political correctness issue. He's not trying to be politically correct. He says things as they are, in my own view, anyway. So, but the point, you cannot say that is emotional problem. What? What makes it troubling that somebody is being truthful for himself?
Yes.
Which kind of diplomacy? What is diplomacy?
Why are we not here?
Oh, you are here because you want to be diplomatic. Yes.
I'm studying that.
You're not even studying this course to make money. You're studying the. Where's the diplomacy? By the way, what's the diplomacy?
He says things
That is his personality. We're talking. The topic today is personality. You cannot change for introvert because automatically you change from extrovert to introvert within the time you are in charge of footballers or you're in charge of your business. It's not that way. We're talking about personality today. We're linking it to the subject, peace and governance. So somebody who is very open-minded and says things the way you don't expect him to all the time you don't expect him to change automatically. That's his personality. That's the point. Yeah. He's expressing his ideas. There's nothing like global reader there because what he was saying was also correct to some extent. Because immigrant, first of all, why are they immigrant? What do you call it? Illegal immigrant, right? Why are they? Because they left their country to enter another country without due process. And there are so many things they are doing on the road. They did on the road. And there are so many things reported which was done. It's not because Trump said it. Let us do the research. Those who were there, they reported it. Trump is just repeating what was on newspaper, what some people have reported already. And he said it the way he wanted to say it. So you cannot say he has emotional issue. When he wasn't there. He was quoting what is being reported, in my view. Hello? Okay, Collins. So how can you connect peace and governance and personality development?
Connecting peace and governance to personality development. What I understand is personality development, one has to understand himself. And when you understand yourself, you'll be able to know your personal strengths and your weaknesses. So when you know your strengths and weaknesses, maybe in times of conflict, you can be able to focus and know the directions that you will take, and it will help you to maybe navigate and things work out straight.
Wonderful. So, Somto?
So, what's your question?
Oh, you don't even know the question.
He was not in class.
Then you can tell him, why should that be my problem that he wasn't in class?
What's the question?
But he's supposed to be in the class.
All right. So first of all, I'll talk about the personality traits, which
Mhm.
includes emotional intelligence, empathy, integrity, and all of that, transparency, inclusive. So now, how it connects to peace and governance, I would start with the fact that in terms of peace, when we have emotional intelligence, it helps in developing self-awareness. It also helps us in empathy and social skills, which helps us to manage conflicts and resolve disputes within ourselves. So I feel like, to make it short, I feel like personality development is a very instrumental topic for peace and governance because both traits we have in personalities help us maintain peace within ourselves and also as a leader to carry out your duties, understanding the people you govern.
Okay. I'm happy that you guys are getting this topic and getting it connected rightly and properly. Okay, go on.
Okay, let me start by giving us the meaning of personality development. Personality development could seen as growth or evolution of an individual behavior or attitude of and this personality development could be self-awareness in the sense of knowing your weaknesses and your strengths, and also be it could also be it could also be special skills in area of active listening or improving communication. So let me use federal road safety as point of contact in Emangozi's voice. Okay, we have what is in federal road safety. There's what is called patrol, and this patrol is all about enforcement. And in that enforcement, we have enforcers, which are the officers. And in that officers, there might be maybe 4 or 5. And among them, there must be a team leader. So in that case, if the team leader has flaws in communication, there won't be peace in that team. There won't be peace. But in a situation whereby the team leader is a good active listener or good in communication, there will be peace. So
Okay.
Okay, in my own, I use myself as an example. Like for example, when I'm still in Nigeria, I'm doing business, I'm into building material. So the kind of people that I did business with, I'm kind of a person that if I'm dealing with you, I always make sure that I keep everything in record. I keep everything that if I tell you something today, if you come tomorrow, it still be that the same thing. And that thing has made me, if people that came to market, after buying from me, I will because I'll be able to tell you that this one is the original one. This one is the, if you are not able to buy it, I will explain everything to you. So I've discovered that it's my personality to them. Anything that I told them, yes, they always believe it. Even though yes, they come to the market, they have to call me to know if I'm around before they be able to go and buy to in another person's shop. To the extent that they don't even need to come to the market. They have entrusted me that they can send millions of naira in my account and I'll be able to do business and send it to them and they receive what they purchase from me. So I can just conclude that in area of personality, referring to peace is that we as an individual, we have our weakness and there are some area that we are not be doing it wrong and there are some area that we might be doing it right. But the main thing is that let us be able to balance our personality and not be able to let people to see us that we are not is consistent, that we are not really who we are or who we are trying to let them know. Because people, if you are dealing with people, even though they cannot tell you, there are some certain things they observe, but it's either they observe it in a different dimension. But it then depends up to you as a reader to do the right thing and do anything that you are doing. You know that you are doing, this is what you're supposed to do, not because you want to do it to please anybody, but this is the right thing. I believe if you follow in that direction, it's your personality to people, or the way people see you around might be, let me say, it might not be always positive. It's some, no matter what you do, people will always talk negative about you, but just make sure that you do the right thing. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Dixon?
Personality development, peace and governance. I would like to just place it with the summary of what, like, you can't give what you don't have. That is just what I think summarizes it all. There's nature-nurture controversy though.
Name that, what not have it?
Yes. So, one that has been nurtured or groomed in a certain way, psychologically, at the end of a day or at certain age of life in terms of responsibility, might not really run away from that which has been embedded in the person. It is, some things are innate, some things are tenaciously built from infancy. So I am trying to find a way to tie it up together. When you see the controversy of leaders are made and leaders are born, there is a thin line. Sometimes it's not just about the leader, it is what is inside. Some people grow up learning it. So they are nurtured with it all through to their growth. So when they exhibit certain things, when they act the way they do, or when they say what they say, it is not because they are perfect human beings, but it's because of something they've grown to see. Some people are seen generally as very strict human beings, and some people might even categorize them as wicked. But maybe they were not born wicked, but the life they have gone through. Some will tell you, oh, I lost my parents when I was an infant. I don't even know my mother, my stepmother, my uncle. They did this to me. And somehow the person grows up to be in a big position tomorrow. I bet you, even if the person goes through sanctimonious cleansing, the most of them all, that threats will not be 100% or totally removed from that individual as a human being. It must get to some point he stamps his foot on a particular issue. If you trace very well, you will see that there are some traces back to how the person was developed, how the person was grown. So personality development, how a person grows up, trained, how a person was trained from infancy to all stages of life, then primary, secondary, whatever, some don't even go through, to the position where they are, goes a long way to affect what they think, say, and do at certain stage in life. And at that point, this still brings me to the first point where I say you can't give what you don't have. Some people not some people, at some point in life, there's still room for adjustment. There's still room for development. But what I'm trying to say is most times, as one develops, most of those things we meet at the stages of life in this development affects what we do when it comes to our approach to what should affect or what should reflect peace and what should show the way individual behaves, whether in governance or what leads to peace or what causes the absence of peace. I beg to stop here. I hope I've not
Okay.
scattered the whole thing.
Okay. So Chelsea.
Um, how I would connect personality development to peace and governance is how I've understood it. For there to be peace, or rather for people to understand peace better, they need to understand people better. And for people to understand people better, you have to understand people's personalities. That means in your slides, I could see positive traits and negative traits. So for people, once people understand every personality has a negative effect, every extrovert has a negative side, every introvert has a negative side. It's not just about the positive sides, it's also about the negative sides. And once we understand, oh, there's a negative to this person, there's a negative to that person, and you give them the grace to have the negative and be themselves, then somehow we can come to a peaceful coexistence. Because my understanding is the reason why the people clash is not that they clash, is their personalities are clashing. I'm clashing with you because I'm more of an extrovert and you're more of an introvert, and then you're not meeting in the middle. So that's what I would connect it to. For
Okay.
people to have peace, they need to understand people and understand personality.
Wow. Great.
Okay, for me, connecting personality development to peace and governance, I would say personality is understanding who you are and your identity. So for you to be able to live in peace with anybody, you have to first of all understand your personality, because most times most people ignore it. It's something that is commonly ignored. People don't really take time to actually understand their personality so as to relate with other members of the society. So relating the two is a matter of understanding. Just like we explained earlier in the lecture, it's about a matter of understanding. Understanding is the key word here. If I'm to relate with anybody, I have to understand that this is who this person is, and this is who I am first of all, and then this is who this person is, so we can coexist together in a peaceful union.
Wow. Wonderful. Sapi.
So how's the contributions of personality development to peace and governance? I don't know about the any theory or anything, but here is one example and long short story. This is the I think this is okay. I mean, this is the safe place for us, except unless Dr. Emmanuel already knows about this. So I'm the victim of sexual harassment or sexual violence when I was in the high school. So I'm not finished my education at that stage in the high school. Then I escaped from my education and also from my city to the capital. And yeah, and at that moment there's one local NGO who helped me who saved my life, who support me to continue my high school, and then I continue to university, and then I at that NGO also I'm also meet with the another community who have the same experiences like me. And at that moment I was in 2019. Yeah, in 2019 I established one NGO. Just it's because of my background, it's because of my pain, and then I create one NGO. It's called Inti Muda Indonesia. It's a national NGO, and then I trying to accommodate uh, all the young people who have the same experience like me. Then yeah, so we all together, we work together. So through my experience, through my pain, through my, you know, yeah, and then we create something new, to help the community. So I think that is this process this process is called personality development. So I was from the lowest part of my life. I learned something new. I learned. I joined the training. I met with my friend. We sharing. We support each other, and then I can be impactful for my community, for my friends in Indonesia. And then and it's not finished yet, because when I'm not young anymore, so I give my leadership to another young person. Can you imagine, like, transgender woman, 21 years old, can be director in my NGO? I think she cannot be like in that position in any other place, because yeah, she's transgender and still young, but in my NGO she can be a leader. So this is also part of the personality development. So like a good personality, good leader can produce another good leader.
Wow,
Thank you.
wonderful. Okay, Mangozi, summarize it for us.
Okay. When we are talking about personal development, I think I have to relate it in political terminus. We all know
It's a
what is
political what?
terminus. So we all know what is personal development. Personal development, you can have a very good personal development, maybe because of the family or the nature where you come from. But when relating it to governance, when putting it into government, your personal development, being it good, can change when when you join politics, because politics has to do with for you to become a politician, you have to belong to a political party. So, but I will like to reference my point using my former boss, which is Dr. Keziavi Pipazu. 2013-14, his intention clamoring for Abia State governor was very, very nice. He was nurtured in a very good and reputable family. And his family, his parents were teachers. And also, so he came from a very nice family. So his ambition, becoming the governor, was very, very genuine. He was fully prepared, and he got what Abia State needed, because if you come to any state, like he said, we have Abia State, Imo State, all these Anambra, Enugu, Ebonyi states, we all have our own cooperative advantage. We have our own labor factors. Number one, when we are talking about Abia State is known as a commercial hub, which is trade and investment. When we come to Enugu, Enugu is like a civil service area. When we come to Imo State, they also have their own what they majored on. Anambra also, they have. So different states. So trying to, by not analyzing what your state need, what your area of jurisdiction need, then you will be able to make mistake. But if you are able to apprehend what they need, then focus on that and develop that, then you will be able to reason or get the actual dividends of democracy. So when he assumed the seats, there are some political masquerades, there are political elements which served as a vehicle, in achieving his political ambition. But on the process, within our political cycle, we have this mindset of you must agree or you must concur on what the political cabals say. So whatever they say, you must do it. And if you fail to do it, maybe it can result to, maybe they will use their political thoughts or political power or weight to fight you or make your government to be ungovernable. So on this aspect, using that as a point of contact, it also affects the development of a country, or it also murder the peace of a people or the country, thereby doing what? Putting them in a pandemonium, thereby making your administration to be maladministrative in your leadership. So relating it to this, our topic today, because our topic is peace and governance. So this peace and governance, this peace and governance, I think we don't trying to solve or to eradicate the issue of peace, savaging the whole globe. I think human being presently cannot solve the problem. We cannot solve the problem. Rather, we can do what? We can at least withhold peace in some certain extent. But that doesn't mean that we will solve the problem. What we are just doing is to give a medicine, or that we only hold it for a particular time. Maybe after your tenure, the thing still escalates. So I think it will be very difficult for us to solve. So, but to minimize it, I think we have to start from the grassroots, which in politically we call it grassroots mobilization. By doing what? Putting more interest in our schools, educational system. Yeah, we know that we cannot change the mindset of grown-ups. Then we have to do what? Start afresh to train those people in kindergarten to do what? To empower them, especially making them to be creative, introducing, instead of depending much on essay vocabularies, then we empower them on what? Trade and investment, technology. If you can equip them, or if you can waive out anything concerning all this writing, or maybe they can use maybe 2 or 3 period to study about writing and this. Then the remaining period, they use it in what? In learning different types of handwork. From there, practicals, technologies. From there, we can be able to eradicate some of this issue. Because if someone, especially where we are having this issue is in Africa. So if someone engage his or herself in thinking on what to create from grassroots, the person will not have the time to think about another person, rather spend his time thinking about the new technology, how he can improve himself. So I think to sum up this, we all have to do what? We should not only depend on the government to do everything for us. Like Richard says, what we are suffering is what we call apparent poverty. And this apparent poverty, what does it mean? Thinking that we are poor, but we are not poor. You see an average black man thinking that a white man is better than him, or a white man is richer than him, but without knowing that he or she is so rich, but just that we don't utilize what we have. Assuming we are utilizing what we have, it will create it will create a positive impact in solving all these problems. So Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so thank you very much. It has been a very long day. We started with the Peace Day celebration, Peace Day commemoration, Peace Day remembrance, and then we ended it up with a class we normally have today, which is a peace and governance. So I thank you very much all for your attendance, and I thank you for your contribution. Most importantly, the way all of you connected peace and governance with this topic, personality development, I love it so much, and it actually enabled me to understand that you guys are really smarter than you should think you are. Last time we talked about ethics, and we connected it also with peace and governance. So today we talk about personality, and you guys actually did a very nice connection here. That is what it should be. So next time we will know the topic as it is in a guideline. So thank you very much for today's class. I hope to see you again next time.
Sorry, sir. I thought you would give us your own doctoral understanding of the connection.
Okay. Can you give him the mic to ask that question in case if it's not heard?
Thank you, sir. So I haven't heard from all of us in the class. So we're looking up to you to give us your own very doctoral level of the understanding of
Yeah.
personality development vis-a-vis peace and governance.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, normally, if all of you could dictate my methodology, normally I summarize my class at the introductory part. Then I start the class. Then again, in my own method of teaching, I also try to give the student the opportunity to share their ideas and contributions. But then most of you appear to be smarter than myself, that you have actually summarized the entire class and then connected it the way I wouldn't have done better than. So, but anyway, in order to recap or go back to what I said earlier, and that is why the topic, personality. In fact, I doubt if I will say anything new other than what all of you have said. Show me the leader, and then tell me his parents, and tell me his background, then I will tell you that probably the possibility or plausible part of his leadership. Just as I say that most of the things I do myself today, I remember my mom that wakes up. It should be in the past, right? My mom that woke up by 4 a.m. every day, and then by 5 a.m., sometimes 4:30 a.m., she must have woken all of us up to do the basic things we should do before we even pack to go to the market. This market is assumed to be she's the one that started it, and she's known for that till today. So, and then we will go to the market by 5 a.m. at least. 5 a.m. And you know what is 5 a.m.? 5 a.m. when kids, everybody supposed to be sleeping. And then we come back, we continue to be at the market. Sometimes from there, we do every other thing and go to school and then come back. But then by 11 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. on that same day, we now go back home. Sometime midnight. You see the background I came from. When I started working in Siam University, some Thai fellow lecturers, they call me 7-Eleven. Yeah, because I'm always, sometimes they wonder if I fall sick or not. Nobody has ever dictated that I was sick so and so time. So that for them is unbelievable. So, but the fact is that it's coming from the background. I go to work, just like today. I've been here since 7 a.m. Then I'm going home probably by 9 p.m. or thereabout. So can you connect it with my background? And then I went through the seminary training as well, where you wake up very early and you do certain things. Things are planned the way it should be. So my answer to it is that when you now tell somebody, talk about peace, talk about governance, what is about peace? Remember, we have talked about what is peace. We are yet to talk about what is governance. Then you combine two of them. Then the most important thing is that who is the leader of your country? The person that is leader of your country is a person. So you have to look at his personality. You have to look at his personality development, because that will have a long way to determine how he or she views this concept called peace. Just like one student presented today, peace is everything for different thing for different people. So if the person ruling your state or your country or your nation is often a person battling with peace, it's possible that he may be battling with the same thing in the leadership. If it's a person that will look for diplomacy, will look for a kind of dialogue, will look for give time, will not provide time in order to make peace, then if it's that kind of personality, believe it or not, under his leadership, there will not be war. But if you have the kind of person that probably brought up from a kind of realist point of view, or a point of view that people must be taught by force, then whether you like it or not, you might see that kind of element of that kind of a thing in his leadership. So in his governance as well. So the concept of peace, how I may connect, like most of you submitted, tell me the person, tell me the background, then you deduce, you will not infer whether the concept the person will give you about peace, and then the kind of government, the kind of governance the person might apply. That is simple the way I will view it. Sometimes, as most of you said also, and I agree with that, one can grow over time. One can develop over time. One can be groomed over time, as you saw it in our PowerPoint. I said that personality, you may not change it, but you can groom it. You can modulate it. So someone surrounded by people who believe in peace, like Iman Ngozi said, you have been voted and you are surrounded by different kinds of personalities. You might act like them. If they're the people that want war, you might eventually go to war from your country to another country. If there are people that actually think about peace, you might also look for peace. So that is the way I can link it for now. Of course, there's no time to continue. Otherwise, we'll go extra mile to explain it. So I don't know whether I got it, or do you need more explanation? Okay. Thank you very much.